Animals using tool is not a novel idea. Many animals do that. Most don't craft their own tools, of course. They just found a tool laying around, like looting an equipment using whatever you find on the field. And yes, some of those animals uses other animals as tools. And that's also the case for carrier crabs. So, let me bring up the question. What exactly is carrier crab? When you Google carrier crab, you might find a specific species of crab. When I do so, the one that came up is Dorippidae. And yes, this is a carrier crab. But there are various carrier crabs currently known. Carrier crab, or also known as porter crab itself, is not a single taxon. It's just an umbrella term for crabs that carry tools around. The tools can vary, of course, and each groups have their own preference of tools. The Dorippidae that I showed earlier carries sea urchin. A lot of carrier crabs carry sponges, gorgonians, or corals. Some carry jellyfish and other cnidarians. Some just carry whatever flat items they found basically. While we don't exactly know the extent of functionality of these tools, we can deduce that at the very least, they are useful for defense. Most of them carry hard stuff so it can act as a physical armor. Some carry things that could be dangerous for a potential predator, like the ones that carry sea urchins and cnidarians. The tools could also function as camouflage to some extent. They are also observed to thrust their tools towards predator as an attack. While all crabs can basically hold a tool with their pincer, carrier crabs have specialized structures to carry their tools around. But first, let me briefly talk about the typical decapod crustacean legs. A lot of you have probably known that decapod means 10 legs. But not all decapods have 10 legs. For example, shrimps. Shrimps don't have 10 legs. They have more than 10. But they only have 10 walking legs. These are called pereopod. Oh, by the way, there are two ways to write the term and both are correct, just in case you were confused. The legs on their abdomen are called pleopod. These are the swimming legs. The pair of legs on the tip of their body are called uropod, which form the tail fan together with their telson. Anyway, true crabs only have 10 legs. All of those are pereopod. And yes, that includes the one with chela, which are the two pincers on the front. Some crabs are good swimmers. In those crabs, the last pair of pereopods are modified into swimmerets. Looks like pleopod, but still technically pereopod. Now, in carrier crabs, the rear pereopods are modified into carrying legs. These pereopods are bent upwards and have hooks to hold the tools. So, in general, they hold their tools from behind and covering towards their dorsal, just like a backpack unit of a Gundam. That's a weird comparison, I have to admit. But anyway, each of carrier crab groups have their own variants of carrying form, and I'm gonna talk about each of these families. The first family is Dromiidae, the sponge crab. They are called the sponge crab because their equipment preference are sponges, and they are good at it. They can snip sponges so it fits their body nicely. They have two patterns of carrying. The first and the typical one is when they snip a sponge, tumbles backward into the sponge, and hook the inner side of the sponge with their fourth and fifth pairs of pereopod. This way, the sponge fits them nicely and covers their back. The sponges also form some kind of symbiosis with the crab. The sponge grows in a way so they can perfectly fit and cover the carapace of the crab. The second way is done by the shellback crab, Hippoconcha and Conchoechitis. Instead of sponges, they carry bivalve shell, half of it of course. The shell is often larger than their body, so it almost completely covers them. Not only they grip the shell with their fourth and fifth pair of pereopods, they also have marginal setae to keep the shell in place. They also have soft body that can provide some degree of suction so the shell sticks to them. The second family is Homolidae. which is the poster child of carrier crab or porter crab nowadays. They mostly live deeper in continental slope, which is why they are known as the deep-water carrier crab. They have long legs. Because of that, their carrying legs are also very apparent, which is only the fifth pair, the rearmost pair. The tools they carry do not cover their body. Instead, they hold it upwards. Because of their long legs, they can effectively thrust the tools towards adversary. The third family is Latreilliidae. They are closely related to the Homolidae family. Just like the homolids, they also have long legs. This one is even slimmer than the homolids. And again, just like the homolids, they also carry tools with only their last pair of legs and carry them upwards. These three are considered the basal clade of true crabs. We still have three other families of carrier crab, and I will talk about them of course. But before that, the fourth family is Cyclodorippidae, which was known as Thymolidae. They carry tools using their fourth and fifth pair of legs. They usually carry rocks or bits of shells over the posterior half of their body, so unlike the homolids and latreilliids, their tools cover their body, albeit only partial. Unfortunately, I cannot find any photographs of them carrying something, but what it says is written in the reference, so just imagine it, I guess. The fifth family is Dorippidae. They carry tools using their fourth and fifth pair of legs. Members of this family carry various tools, mostly things bigger than themselves. This family includes the urchin crab, Dorippidae, which carries sea urchin. Spiky shield is quite neat, don't you think? Another famous member is the leaf porter crab, Dorippidae. This one lives in intertidal zone, especially in mangrove forests. That's why the thing they carry are usually leaves, but they could also carry shells. The sixth and last family is Ethusidae. Members of this family was classified in Dorippidae before, so intuitively, it is closely related to Dorippidae. This includes the jellyfish crab, which, as its namesake, is known to carry jellyfish. While spiky shield is kinda cool, stinging shield sounds better, don't you think? They also carry things with their fourth and fifth pair of legs. Not only do they exhibit similar behavior, they also have similar structure. That is, the upward-oriented rear parapods. It's intuitive to think that they are closely related to each other, but they are not. As I've said before, Dromiidae, Homolidae, and Latreilliidae are one of the basal clades of the true crab. While Cyclodorippidae have Dorippidae in its name, it's actually not closely related to Dorippidae at all. Meanwhile, Dorippidae and Ethusidae are one of the more derived true crabs. The evolutionary distance between these groups are significant, so this carrying structure and function is convergent evolution. But that actually makes me think, to what extent is this convergent evolution? On the surface, they seem to carry tools for defense. But Dromiidae, which is probably the most basal out of the six, carry tools as a cover. Some think they mainly carry tools for camouflage. Homolidae and Latreilliidae hold their tools upward. When you look at this video, or even just looking at the thumbnail, it looks kinda weird in some way. Them carrying tools is making them even more visible, and the tools doesn't even cover their body. Still, they can use it as a weapon though. Dorippidae and Ethusidae carry tools that can act as a harmful shield. Yet the Dorippidae, which is in the same family as the Dorippidae, carry leaves to camouflage, not really functional as a shield. The high variability of this behavior made me think, do some of them just carry things for the sake of carrying things? Like a cosmetic equipment in RPG? Is it useful for some kind of display maybe? Or maybe even courtship behavior? Who knows? We aren't even sure if all members of the families exhibit this carrying behavior, which means there are still a lot to learn about them. There's also another group of crabs with somewhat similar behavior function-wise. That is, the decorator crab, which I will talk about sometimes in the future in its own video. But that's it for this video. For now, let's just learn what is known. And that's all for now. Oh, by the way, did you know that there is a video game where you can play as crabs and battle other crabs? It's called Fight Crab, and Carrier Crab is also in that game. Anyway, enjoy your day.